Hey there, Leo. Welcome to your reading for mid-November 2025. You have this echidna. It says homebody, distinctiveness, and danger sense. You have this owl. It says prophecy, attentiveness, and secrets. So I would be paying attention to your intuition with that owl spirit. There could be some, like, you know, your life could be turning into a little bit of a prophecy here, is kind of what I'm feeling, Leo, as in, you know, it's like things that you've been thinking about doing, you could be doing. And that's what I mean by your life is turning into a prophecy. It's like things that you've thought of are finally maybe coming together here, and I would definitely pay attention to that. You could be a little bit of a homebody right now, which I don't think is a bad thing for you, Leo, you know, especially with this Mercury retrograde. So if you don't feel like going out, this is the one time that I will give you permission to stay home and not go out, right? And but this is your one time. This is it right here with me. You know, every other time I'm going to tell you to get out of the house, but you start here in your first card in the Celtic Cross is how you are entering into the reading. You have the Knight of Swords. You've been getting the Knight of Swords with me a lot. The Knight of Swords, as I always say to you, Leo, he is maybe running up to the next card in the reading, and he's running back to the past. So I always say that the Knight of Swords wants us to practice follow-through and wants us to not be afraid of something. The Page of Cups, like, sure, it could be love. You have a little bit of love here, but I kind of feel it's an opportunity. You know, the Page of Cups can be your dream, and this could be an opportunity to live your dream, and you have the Knight of Cups, which he is also very dreamy, and I feel you need to follow through on something. The other thing to think about here is he is just running back to the Nine of Swords. The Nine of Swords is everything you know. It is, you know, the Nine of Swords is like the worst kind of comfort zone because he is in a nightmare and he's woken up and he's stuck in a nightmare. And the whole point of the Knight of Swords is to change your situation and to get out of bed and to not keep living in Groundhog's Day here, Leo. So I feel that with the Knight of Swords. The Knight of Swords also says, you know, especially during a Mercury retrograde, no rushing, no speeding, no getting into accidents, no road rage, you know, if you're driving or something like that. You know, basically just slow things down a little bit as far as, like, the actions that you're taking, you know, especially if it's something like driving or something like that. You know, the other thing I say with the Knight of Swords is to make sure you're not ignoring problems, and it's definitely popping into my head for you. Like, if your engine light in your car comes on, fix it. Don't wait. Don't put it off. And yes, I understand it might cost money that you don't have and things like that. But, you know, especially during Mercury retrograde, we always regret it when we don't take care of things as quickly as possible. So, you know, make sure you're taking care of things. Not just in your car. It could be anything. Your crossing energy is the Page of Wands. The crossing energy can be what hurts you or helps you. There are like two things that are popping into my head with this. Number one is attachment to outcome. And so if you're thinking too much about the outcomes of the things that you're taking action on, then, you know, that could be preventing you from making progress right now. And so Page of Wands, he is just happy to be part of the crowd, right? Or to be part of the crew. He's just happy to be able to, you know, go do something fun. He is the card of practicing optimism. The second thing is that, again, he practices non-attachment to outcome. So instead of looking at something and saying, I need this thing to work this way, he's just willing to go on the adventure and just see how things go. So I think that, you know, if you're, you know, this could be anything, but, you know, especially in love, if you're saying like, oh, I have to marry this person, it's like you're creating an outcome that might not happen and you're going to have a harder time. But if you just say like, I'm just going to have the experience, I'm just going to see how things go, I'm not going to overinvest. We only get in trouble in connections when we overinvest. People always, you know, are always telling me, they're like, you're saying that we shouldn't, you know, attach an outcome, but I always get hurt. I'm like, you only get hurt when you overinvest in a person, and you only get hurt when you're not matching energy. It's just that simple. Next, in the area of your thoughts or what's on your mind, you have the Hermit. The Hermit's pretty good because he has been through a dark night of the soul, and now he's found his inner light. You know, of course, he needs to shine his inner light. You always get the Hermit with me, Leo, which I think is very interesting. I'm always saying to you that I feel like Leo is going to be one of the teachers of the future. And that doesn't mean you're becoming a teacher, like in a school, although it could for some of you, but it's more about you leading through example, right? And you becoming an example. but he has to come down from the top of the mountain. This is critically important right now because we have the South Node in Virgo, we have the North Node in Pisces. If there was a tarot card for South Node Virgo, North Node Pisces, it would be the Hermit. The karma of people who are born with South Node Virgo, North Node Pisces is they climb to the top of the mountain because something hurt them and they never come down from the mountain. It's like some people say South Node Virgo, North Node Pisces is basically punishing the world. It's like you get hurt and you decide that everybody is the same and everybody's going to hurt you and you hide at the top of the mountain. So, this is really important right now that we realize that, yeah, sure, things can hurt us, but usually really it's our own expectations that hurt us in the first place. It's really, nobody can actually really hurt us in the first place, right? But the other thing is that, he's earned and found his inner light. He will get a lot of amazing benefits by shining his inner light. So whatever you're thinking about doing or showing off, like there's something inside of you that needs to be shown off here, Leo, and I would just make sure that you do it. In the area of your foundation, you have the Queen of Wands. Queen of Wands is about being bold, being assertive, really making things happen. I feel pretty good about the Queen of Wands in your reading. I do feel like you're being bold and assertive. You also have the Magician going this way right here. And so the Queen of Wands, she has to learn as she goes. Like whatever she's doing, she has to figure it out as she goes. She's not going to have the answers. The Magician is good because it tells us that you have the tools necessary to be successful on some sort of new adventure or journey that you're going on here, Leo. And yeah, like I said, that's all I have to say because it's a good thing. Next, in your past position, you have this dagger. It says danger and conflict lie in wait. You have this golem. It says a close friend acts on your behalf. I do feel, we've talked about it a million times that some of you have maybe been hurt by friends in the past, or, maybe you chose to work together with people that ended up stabbing you in the back. Very common story for Leos, just based off the astrology. At least I see it. I don't know if anyone else does, but whatever. And what I would say here is I feel like you're finally moving past that energy, which is a good thing. You don't have to worry about it so much anymore. Now, I would still pay attention, right? It's like, I think I've said this to you over the past 10 readings. If someone reminds you of someone who burned you in the past in work, in business, in love, whatever, trust that, right? And don't let that person into your life, especially if the evidence is showing you that they're the same. You also have the Nine of Swords in your past, which is good. Like I said, Nine of Swords in the past can say you are moving past this Groundhog's Day energy where everything is always the same and nothing ever changes, which is good. It can say that you're getting out of the bed and you're taking control of your life, like you are making life happen, not the other way around where life is happening to you. And, I'm a big fan of being the one that's in charge of your own life, of course. But like I said, with that Knight of Swords, I would make sure that you're not running back to the Nine of Swords. I fully believe that sometimes pain can become a comfort zone because you know what you're going to get, right? So it's like, I think this is why people sometimes stay in crappy situations because you know what you're going to get. It's not a surprise. And I would make sure that you don't do that, and push towards greatness here, Leo, is what this reading wants you to do. Next, in the area of the very near future, you have this Thinker card and this Flexible card. Yes, definitely, the whole entire reading is screaming flexibility with the Page of Wands, the Queen of Wands, the Magician even. We'll talk about it in a minute. So I would maintain your flexibility, be flexible in outcomes. The Thinker card, I always say, this card, it's kind of hard to see, but there's like a face that's peeking out right here at this lady. And she could easily level up in her life if she just went to the next level. And so I feel like this is encouraging you to take something to the next level or get to the next level. Also in the area of your very near future, you have the Page of Cups. So could be love for those of you that want it. I mean, you have the Knight of Cups as well. Could be a knight in shining armor coming in for you. I always say that he has an opportunity. This fish in this cup might not exist. We don't know. Some people say it's his pet. Some people say it's a fish he caught. Some people say it's in his imagination. All I know is that he has to bring that fish down to earth. He needs to make sure it doesn't jump into the water here behind him. And so that fish could be part of your dream or your dream life or something you're trying to create in your life. And all you have to do is take one tiny little step right now, Neptune and Pisces. I think it's a blessing, actually, that we have Neptune and Pisces with Saturn there as well. you can take a very small step towards something and it will work. So, I would make your move here, Leo. Next, in the area of your outcome, you have this family room. It says private family matters, comfortable matters, matters kept secret, inner soul, intimacy, private discussions, and retreat. You have this wealthy woman. It says wealth, beauty, youthful fun, charm, creativity, luxury, vanity, good life, and high standard of living, which is probably what you're trying to create right now here, Leo. And it doesn't matter what gender you are. This is a general reading. So I think a lot of the readings this month have been talking about wealth, and wealth building definitely seems to be a focus. Again, Neptune and Pisces. Neptune rules anything that flows. Pisces rules anything that flows. And Neptune and Pisces is, like, we call it currency, right? And so I feel everybody is probably thinking about, increasing their wealth or doing things to increase their standard of living. And again, that doesn't mean this is going to happen overnight, of course, but I feel if you put the work in, you will make it happen. And you could be coming up with a lot of ideas that will put you in a much more comfortable position financially. And I feel like everybody, needs to be working on this. Next, in the area of your next few months, you have the Knight of Cups. So again, could be a knight in shining armor coming in for you if you're looking for love. It's like, I do kind of get the feeling that, like, once this gets started, it's going to take off, but I also feel like the challenge in the reading is that, if you want love, that this thing has to get started. It's not. I feel like it's not getting started right now here, Leo. So again, if if you're talking to a person or whatever, it's like maybe there needs to be more flirting or more talking. Something like that, right? I feel like you could be dealing with a slow person. You have the Hangman in the area of your closest relationships. The thing about the Hangman is that it could also just be a busy person. We don't consider the Hangman to be busy, but the Hangman can definitely be someone who has got things going on. So we'll talk about it in a second, but, I would think about it. The Knight of Cups is, again, very dreamy as well. He's standing in the desert, but he has this water flowing in front of him. All we have to do with the Knight of Cups to manifest a dream is take that first tiny little step, and things will grow. So I would get moving here, Leo. Next, in the area of your closest relationships, this is all relationships in your life. You have the Hangman. I do feel like you are looking at relationships differently, like all relationships, not just love. Like I said, even you could be looking at your relationship to things that you have, that you own, that you do, your relationship to your health and everything, and you could be flipping it on its head. Very common energy right now because of Uranus and Gemini. With Uranus and Gemini, it's all about flipping things on their head. And yes, Uranus is retrograde right now in Taurus, but I don't care. It's already entered into Gemini. It's already been there, right? We've already touched the energy. So, it's only going to be in Taurus until like, a little bit, basically like the springtime of next year. And so, again, we might as well act as if we have Uranus and Gemini. And so looking at other perspectives or other ways of doing things could be definitely something that you're doing. I also, for whatever reason, I feel like you could be dealing, like there are things you don't see. It's like if you're dealing with a person right now, if you're talking to a person, I don't mean this in a mysterious way. I don't think this person's hiding anything from you or whatever, but it's like it just feels to me like if you're dealing with a person or if you've been talking to a person, it's like they got a lot going on or something. The Hangman says we need to look at something from a different perspective. The other thing I feel here is that some of you could just be attracting a very different type of person. And so if you treat them like past people, or if you think that they're like past people, then you're going to have a hard time. Because they're not that past person. And I feel like you need to realize that. Next, in the area of your future feelings, you have the Magician, which is amazing. The Magician says that you feel like you have tools at your disposal. You feel like there are different ways you can make things successful. And that's exactly what I would pay attention to with the Magician. I would also be using your tools, right? He has mastery over all the ace versions in the tarot right here. And so he uses the right tool for the job, whatever it is he's doing. And that's what I would make sure to do. I always pull the card he's pointing to if he shows up at the end. We're going to say it's this one. You have this message in a bottle card. This is like an as above, so below card in this deck. It could also say that there is a message coming in for you that will help you move forward. So I do feel, if you've been looking for answers or information on something, you could be getting it. Your outcome is the Five of Cups. Everybody's had the Five of Cups, almost, I'm pretty sure, in this set of readings. So, number one, it seems to me like the universe wants everybody to be practicing gratitude in the middle of the month here. That is the easy solution to the Five of Cups, is gratitude. I also feel like this could be like saying, I don't like to say this, Leo, but I do feel there's like a little bit of regret here, but what I'm saying is I feel like the universe is saying, don't regret something, as in Knight of Swords. If you charge through something here and you don't go back to some sort of comfort zone with that Nine of Swords and the Knight of Swords, then you'll be happy. But I feel like if you run back to a comfort zone or stay stuck in a comfort zone, then you won't be happy. And like I said, I always hesitate to say don't regret this, because it's like I don't want to create it, but at the same time, if I don't tell you, then you might regret it, right? And so take action on something that is like a dream or something that you've been thinking about or whatever, right? And there you go. Let's clarify and let's see what comes up. With the Knight of Swords and the Page of Wands, you have the Five of Wands. Yeah, don't let competition get in the way either. Yeah, like we are in a time of co-creation. We have Pluto and Aquarius, which is co-creation. But that doesn't mean that there isn't competition. So I think the trick right now is to study the competition, to see what they're doing and what they're not doing, and then, fill in the gaps. We have to kind of like, it's not about taking part in the competition. It's about rising above it and, making it so that there is no competition, right? If you set yourself apart enough, you will stand out. And I feel that's going to be very important for you. I also think you need to think about your life, like what you want out of life, like what you truly want, not what you think you want. It's like anyone can say like, oh, I want a mansion and a Ferrari and all these other things. But like what goes into that? It's like, what is the actual desire in your life? I think that will help you make better decisions. With the Hermit, you have the Four of Swords. Yeah, typical retrograde card. Four of Swords is resting, relaxing, recovering. He's also like hoping and praying for a blessing. I kind of feel like with the Hermit, though, it's like the universe is saying, don't hope and pray, make it happen. It's like clearly this reading is the universe saying it's time for Leo to make those hopes and wishes and dreams come true. It's not time for the universe to do it for you right now. And so I would be like making those moves. With the Queen of Wands, you have the Three of Pentacles. Yeah, Three of Pentacles is a great card for standing out. Queen of Wands is an amazing card for standing out. She's a card of seduction, so she is good for love. But this could also be in work or business. You can be seductive. You can be attractive to a potential employer, right, who wants to hire you. That's what I mean. Not like as in love, but as in, they want to hire you because you're good at what you do or whatever. And the Three of Pentacles is about putting your work on display. He has done a good job, and that is the whole point. He's getting attention because of the quality of the work that he has done. The Hermit has to show off his skills. Magician, you have the skills to show off, right? It's like everything in this reading is adding up to this, and I feel it would be a great time to like show off, show your skills, put your skills on display. With the Nine of Swords, you have the Ten of Wands. Ten of Wands is carrying a heavy burden. Yeah, I mean, again, good that it's showing up in the past, because it would say that you are releasing burdens that you've been dealing with. He needs to look at those burdens, though. Like, some of those burdens aren't bad. Some of them are good. Some of those burdens are his harvest. He's about to have a harvest. He's about to reach his home. But some of those burdens might be other people's responsibilities, and that's what you need to release with the Ten of Wands. With the Page of Cups, you have the Six of Swords. Yeah, moving on to calmer shores for sure. Improvements. It does look to me like there's an improvement coming in for you here, Leo. And so I would like, but again, you need to challenge yourself a little bit. Like, I'm not going to sugarcoat the reading. That Knight of Swords and the Nine of Swords is really standing out to me. Again, you have to go across the choppy waters to get to the other side with the Six of Swords. Knight of Swords, he might be a little bit scared of like going across the choppy waters, right? And same thing, it's like, it's not, I think, I don't know how to say this, Leo, so I'm just going to, bear with me. I'm just going to say it. It's like, I feel like sometimes maybe you want things to be smooth sailing. It's like, this to me it's like saying there's something really good for you, but you're going to have to, there are going to be some things you have to overcome. right? It's like if this is love, there might be some obstacles. Maybe the person's busy. Maybe it's long distance. Maybe it's something else, right? Whatever. And I feel like this is saying these things can easily be worked through. And not only that, I think that whatever you're working towards, it doesn't have to be love, could be, job, business, some sort of improvement, that because you had to go through some choppiness a little bit, it's going to be much more valuable to you because it's like you earned it. It's almost like the universe is saying there's something you have to earn right now, but you'll be happy that you did. With the Knight of Cups, you have the Magician. Yeah, it's like you asked for this, basically, is what this is saying right here. The Magician is law of attraction, but you have him twice in your reading, and he could be saying, like, you have asked for whatever the Knight of Cups is. It could be your dream, could be love, could be anything, and I feel you need to take action towards it. He's pointing towards this card right here. So this card says Earth. It says utilize logic, reason, and common sense. There you go. So just keep it simple is really what this card is saying to me. With the Hangman, you have the Nine of Wands. Yeah, needing to let go of the old story, especially in relationships. I'm not just talking about love either. Again, we talked about you being hurt by people that you've worked with or maybe people that you trusted that you shouldn't have. The Nine of Wands, says do not give up, right? He is the wounded warrior, but he's holding on to one wand. He's not giving up on his situation. He's continuing to push forward. So, the Nine of Wands says maybe it's time to try again. It's time to form new connections with all sorts of people, and it's time to just realize that you have learned from those past connections. You cannot make this up. With the Magician, you have the Hangman, right? And so part of your superpower is going to be seeing things from a different perspective, clearly. You have the Hangman twice. It's like the Magician can be about manifesting a new reality. The Hangman would be about you coming up with a unique way to manifest that reality. Again, he's hanging from the tree of knowledge and wisdom, and he's gained enlightenment. So now he knows how to move forward. He just has to do it. I do think it would be a good time for you to flip things on their heads. It's like if you're working on a project, how can you do it the opposite way? Or, how can you do something that turns it into something that makes a real impact? That is the time that we're in. It's like we really have to stand out right now. I've been talking about this for years. I've been talking about Pluto and Aquarius for years. It's like if you want to be successful, you have to do something to stand out. And being unique, finding a unique approach, finding a different approach, doing things that make you stand out, creating spectacles, right? All that is going to be very good for you, Leo, and definitely I would. With the Five of Cups, here you go. You have the Ten of Pentacles. Amazing. You have everything to gain, is what this is saying. It's like you have nothing to lose and everything to gain with the Ten of Pentacles. Ten of Pentacles is everything you want and desire in your life. It doesn't mean you're going to have it, but it is very good for working towards it, Leo. You have this bread card, says period of prosperity and abundance. Again, crazy. All these November readings have been very prosperous. And again, if you asked me at the beginning of the year what I thought about money at the end of the year, I would have said bad. Technically, I haven't been wrong. If you pay attention to crypto or stocks or anything, right? Technically, I wasn't wrong. But at the same time, it seems to me like there's opportunities for people to do things to make money or to improve their prosperity. For you, I think it's about using your skills, obviously. Hermit, Magician twice. The Hermit says you have to shine. You have to put your skills out into the world. And the Magician says you have to use them. So I think that's where your increase could come from. You have this throne. It says position of authority. Absolutely, Leo. I think that next year especially, I would start now. Don't wait, right? But with Saturn and Neptune both entering back into Aries next year, that energy will benefit you. You are a fire sign. And so I think that, especially with Saturn, doing things that require responsibility or doing things that will maybe increase your power or whatever would be very good for you. You have this woman card. It says dealings or relationships with a woman, and you have this beetle. It says good fortune on it. I kind of feel like this is you. Even if you're not a woman, doesn't matter. I always say that these people cards sometimes I just feel are the person I'm reading for, and clearly there are good fortunes. You have the Ten of Pentacles, which is good fortune coming in for you, or an increase in your fortunes. You have this egg card. It says success assured with good plans and hard work. There you go. Six of Swords. I don't even think it's that big of a deal. again, I think the Six of Swords is like, yeah, there might be some things that you have to overcome. It's choppy waters, but it's like, they're not gigantic ass waves that are going to flip your boat over. They're just like the typical getting started on something new. It's like there's always a little bit of choppiness at the beginning. And I really want to encourage you, Leo, to push through that beginning stage. You have this bag. It says something important, such as a new job or a raise. There you go. I think we talked about that earlier in the reading. Definitely could be like a new job or something. Three of Pentacles, I would be trying to stand out if you're trying to get a new job. But this looks really good, Leo. So thank you for being here. Make sure to like, leave a comment, and definitely enjoy your month.